Welcome to Hill End, a small gold rush town, now a deserted one. It's located between Bathurst and Mudgee, about an hour's drive out on a sealed road, and about 2 kilometres towards Bathurst from Hill End is this place, the History Hill Museum. The museum focuses on gold. The world's biggest bit of gold came from Hill End. The Byers and Halterman specimen is the largest known piece of gold in the world, containing 3,000 ounces. It gave Hill End its fame. It brought that overcrowding of population in. It was the catalyst Halterman used to create an empire. Halterman, at the time, decided this thing's going down in history. So he chipped the tip off it. 3 generations later, Harry Halterman ends up with the piece, and then from Harry it comes to us, and I'll let Harry explain.
It gave me great pleasure to enable Malcolm and Daphne Drinkwater of History Hill in Hill End, New South Wales, to purchase my great-grandfather's artefacts and memorabilia. Amongst these keepsakes is the original tip of the largest piece of gold ever discovered, the Byers and Halterman specimen. A souvenir I am sure my great-grandfather couldn't resist keeping as a reminder of all his hard work. I am certain that these objects will assist in the education of many students at History Hill and delight people of all ages as they are a link to our past.
This is a replica. This is the real thing. Much smaller, but it gives you an idea of the colour and the substance that we're looking at. A lot of people ask, what is it? Well, it is an epigenetic, naturally occurring, homogeneous, inorganic substance of definite or fairly definite chemical composition with characteristic physical properties that cannot be broken down into other elements when it's in its purest state, formed by a chain reaction of nuclear reactions involved in a supernova, and that atomic structure we classify as gold. We can artificially make it. Costs a fortune. This is number 79 isotopes in the catalogue of naturally occurring elements. One up is mercury. Knock one isotope off mercury at number 80, you reduce it to 79, you've made artificial gold. Far easier, far cheaper to go and find it yourself, which is what they did in Hill End. Hence, this piece, which we have the tip off. This is it. All that remains of the world's largest single mass of gold. Halterman's souvenir, the tip off the Byers and Halterman specimen. Specimen, I say that because there's a difference. Specimens are large pieces of reef gold, nuggets are large pieces of alluvial gold. Out of both nugget and specimen classification, this was the world's largest, where the welcome stranger slotted in at less gold content, but correctly the world's largest nugget. Forget nugget and specimen. Gold, money, metallic cash. Halterman used that as a catalyst to build an empire. He used it to start a massive photographic collection. He entered into so many business ventures in a short time, it boggles the mind. He was a visionary, an extremely intelligent person, and we're lucky enough not just to have that, but to have a lot of his personal artefacts that prove his lifestyle. We're looking at diaries, we're looking at mining records, we're looking at account books, who he loaned money to, what shares he purchased, where he went, 3 world trips in 3 years. And of course, that's just one little bit of the museum. The museum, as I mentioned, has 10,000 pieces. We have got everything from the chemist to the Chinese, you name it, it's here. If it was used in a gold field, we have it. Although the tip of the Byers and Halterman specimen is a draw card, and it is the theme because without it nothing else would exist, it's a domino effect, the history is far bigger, and that's covered in these 3 books. First published 1982, published 1985, 2010, and then 3 documentaries. geology, history, mining method, here over 300,000 words. Many hours of viewing to correct history. So sad you have to correct it, but a lot of people, the more outrageous it is, the more they want to believe it's true. The best way to look at history is to look at the things from the past. History Hill has over 10,000 pieces. Our belief was, if it was on the land of a gold field, during the time of a gold rush, used by gold diggers, then it was part of that area's history. It's not just gold pans, picks and shovels. It is the full gamut of everything that made a gold town work and a gold digger with all the goods he needed. And some of the things can be really interesting because it wasn't just Europeans. There were many people here from different parts of the world. Chinese were a giant part of just about all, not all, but just about all of Australian gold rushes. And the Chinese, don't think of them as little people. There was a province in China where the average height was over 6 foot. And after the gold rush, there were a lot of Chinese employed to work in the bush ring-barking trees. And of course, when you ring-bark trees, it tells you how high you are because you're swinging the axe at a certain height. There was one Chinaman who was over 7 foot high. And of course, that can be proven by the line of his ring-barking. And don't think that the Chinese couldn't fight. I mean, they invented gunpowder. They were employed as mercenaries to protect ships from attack by pirates. And of course, I love the 1800s Chinese fighting sword. A little loop here, so it was over your back. A sword, well, you think it's a sword because when you drew it out, it was 2 swords, 2 halves. So very quickly, 1 turned to 2 and a pretty mean fighting machine. And if you managed to survive the day, it was time to eat. I love this. This came with it. A nice, very elaborate eating utensil kit for the Chinese soldier. Also a little hook so that it came with the sword. Great little invention, and most inventions didn't just happen. They weren't light bulb moments. Inventions were usually built on inventions. As an example, the printing press was invented by someone who looked at a wine press and thought, hey, I can modify that. So modifications begat inventions. This is one of my favourite little modifications. If you look at it carefully and get rid of that, it's a firearm. It's a flintlock. Pull the trigger, the flint kicks that out of the road, showers sparks into a pan, ignites the black powder, the projectile comes out the end. Someone looked at it and thought, well, we haven't got a lighter. I can make a lighter out of that. Instead of black powder, we'll put in this little box tinder. And here we can put a candle. So we can put it beside our bed, wake up of a night time and go, oh, what was that noise? I need to turn the light on. Bang, click, flame, light, candle, walk around the house. Dual purpose, because let's face it, if you were walking around the house and you heard a noise, it could be an intruder. The intruder didn't know whether you had a gun pointed. Are you feeling lucky, punk? Or a light. Dual purpose. There's more to a museum than just looking at some things from the past. It's questioning, it's asking why, it's seeing lifestyle, and we're humans studying humans. We get curious. We have this wonderful way of going, oh, I can use that. So when you have a look around the History Hill Museum with over 10,000 pieces, including firearms, you can see the past as it was. Just capture it in your own mind. And that's the idea of this YouTube channel. It is to relate to you some little bits that are here, bits of history in Hill End, and correct a lot of history with the publications and DVDs. And again, expand on geology. Geology's not that hard. We have made it simple in Gold and B.O. Halterman so you can understand exactly what gold is, why and where it is, and how to go and find it. Once you do that, you're on the path to living Australian history. The most common comment we get about History Hill Museum is, we never realised it was this big. I calculated that if you were to look to your left and walk through all the buildings and displays in a circuit, you would do over half a kilometre before you came back to the start to see the first thing again. But it's not just those 10,000 artefacts. To complement the museum, we have a mine, the underground experience. 175 metres of underground working. It's not everyone's choice. You can walk in, walk out, or you can walk in and climb 7 ladders 18 metres out, or not go near it at all. Personal preference. But if you want that added experience, at least you can see and feel the underground conditions, literally as they were during the 1800s. Now that's this side. Our son does gold panning tours, so if you complete the experience, you would take one of his gold panning tours after spending time at History Hill. How much time? Average time to look through is an hour. We're open weekends, 10 till 3, and all New South Wales school holidays. Our books and DVDs are on the website and eBay. And of course, there's a lot more information about the facility on the website. Our aim is gold and history with the experiences like this underground mine to complement and add a bit of realism to the whole experience.